Hi, I am Dogan, and if you want to support this channel, you can do that for just $1 a month on Patreon, or you can make some donations if you want. More in the description about that. Monetary support is always greatly appreciated, but of course no pressure if you can't, it's just for support of the channel, thank you. I also plan to add some benefits for this $1 support, like voting in polls for next videos or series. So check out the Patreon page to see what changes and what benefits you can get. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day, great night, see you around.
For though the truth may not be so beautiful as the legend, it is necessary all the same.
Bruce, it's okay.
Car's around the front.
Come on, Brucey, look at me. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Between you and me, I think your father was scared too. Hey, why don't we stop for ice cream on the way home? You can order anything you want.
Martha.
Cash, jewelry. Hand it over.
Stay behind me, Bruce.
Hand it over!
Easy, friend. Easy.
We look like your friend. Pearls too. Faster!
Sir Thomas!
Back off!
Please. We're trying to cooperate.
Hey! You see that, kid? That's what happens when you try to be a hero.
Come on, kid, this way. Take a seat in my office.
Is he okay? He'll be fine. Kid like that with all that money, he'll be just fine.
Shut up, now. He's 8 years old and all alone. Money won't fix that.
Whatever you say, Gordon. His butler's on his way to pick him up. You hear that? He's got a butler.
I'm sorry about that. I just need to ask you some questions. Can I get you anything? You okay? I know you don't feel like answering me, but it's the only way to catch who did this.
Why did you do it, officer? Why?
I don't know. It's this city. There's something wrong with it. And listen, son. Call me Jim.
Master Bruce, you have a visitor.
Bruce looked up from his position, curled in fetal ball on the window ledge. He'd had plenty of visitors since the death of his parents. An endless stream of grown-ups who suffocated him in kindness, patting him on the head and talking in soft, patronizing voices as if a sentence spoken at normal volume might cause the poor little orphan to detonate. Like a bomb they'd rather leave undisturbed than risk having diffused. This wasn't one of those people. This was Thomas Elliot. Tommy, the blond boy, pushed past Alfred before Bruce could respond. He looked at Bruce and grinned.
Thank you, Alfred.
Bruce said, trying to sound formal in front of his friend. Alfred coughed awkwardly before leaving the room. It was these moments, when others were around, that he and Bruce were still learning to navigate together. Alfred had reached for Bruce's hand at the funeral only for the boy to snatch it away. Embarrassed, yet he refused to let go during the car ride home.
We have to be kind to you.
Tommy slumped casually down next to Bruce and fixed him with an intense stare that mirrored Bruce's own.
That's what the slut said at school. Everyone's being kind to me, Tommy. It's boring.
Tommy thought about this.
I wish my parents were dead.
He said, eventually.
Then I'd be a billionaire. Thank you.
Bruce's stoned laughter echoed around the manor's empty rooms.
Today, an outsider takes our test of honor to see if he is worthy of our training. Out of pity, we let him eat with us, drink with us, train with us. And now we shall see if he is truly one of us. Begin.
Here?
Now you will see. To God! 이놈은 쌀 가치가 없어.
He thinks he's one of us.
죽을 놈의 새끼. 이게 다야? 넌 준비가 안 됐어. You should not be here.
고통을 주... Come on! 고통을 주자. 여기 야타!
Out here, a man settles his own affairs.
This will be humiliation. Go! 동무! 죽여버려! He's not ready. Go!
His own.
Go! 동무! Time to die a
thinks he's... This will be humiliation. He does not belong. Kill him!
The foreigner is full of surprises, but fighting alone does not make him worthy. To train with us, you must be able to use the environment and strike without being seen. If you see him, shoot him. And if you shoot him, shoot to kill. Defeat your peers before your time is up. I will grace you with a few seconds for every student you incapacitate or kill. Doesn't matter. I will find you.
Where are you, T-Boy?
Find him! What?
자세히 찾아봐! Surprising. 빨리 머리로 나. No distance is too far if the soul is aligned with its true calling. You are meant to be one of us. You will be one of us. Stop this foolish pursuit and return home. You will not survive here.
He is using the shadows! Find him!
Where are you, T-Boy?
You survived to fight again. But I would not let beginner's luck cloud your judgment. This test is far from over, and we shall truly see if you are one of us. Make him suffer.
You will not be here! You will not last. Humiliation. Not belong. Make your You will die in Vector's. He is a fraud. Expose him. 단지 하나야.
You're just a man.
He thinks one of us.
Here I come.
Die!
못생긴 양놈의 새끼.
오샤이! 이게 다야? No chance. Prove you belong. Get out of town, pilgrim. You apart. Oh yeah, man settles his own head.
넌 여기 있을 놈이 아니야.
You die here. Watch me. 미친.
기가 먹을 놈.
죽어라, 외국 놈아. 아이. You will die in Vectus. 죽여버려. 미친 새끼. 껴오자. Get out of town, pilgrim. Right here. Fraud. Expose him. Just wait. You need a bed. Time to die, American. 걔는 단지 하나야. 뭐 싶은 거지? He's not ready! You should not be here!
가능성도 없는데.
넌 준비가 안 됐어!
고통을 하자. 그는 혼자.
공격! This will be humiliation.
Are you ready for us?
난 물러서지 않겠어!
Interesting. You spare their lives even though they will not spare yours. There is no room for your self-righteous Western morality here. It will only get in your way. Kill him! Will you be welcoming a brother or eliminating an imposter? Let us see.
약한 놈. 어디 갔어?
빨리 찾아!
You move in the shadows.
와!
어디 갔어?
You have learned much since you first arrived. But I wonder if you have learned to overcome your fear, your anger, your hate. Or do these emotions still cloud your judgment? Let us see.
Now you will see. Go! 쓰레기 같은 놈.
Are you ready for us?
양놈의 새끼.
그는 혼자.
Prove you belong.
여기서 끝내자. 야차.
You die. 공격. 전조.
어싸.
못생. 넌 준비가 안 됐어.
Give me your bag.
죽여버려. This will be. 이놈은 살 가치가 없어. He thinks he's one of us. He's a fraud. Expose him. Time to die, American. 끝내버려.
Impressive.
살 가치도 없는 새끼. 걔는 토익이 하나야.
You're just a man.
아니야.
I am impressed. And I am rarely impressed. You have earned our respect and proven yourself worthy. You will be given the instruction you seek. Now get to the kitchen and prepare tea for all of us. There is much to discuss.
Bring it! They're in trouble! I can't believe this! Now we're talking! That's a crazy fuck. My kind of life. Break all his bones. Merry Christmas to me. No! This'll stop you. Keep after him! Everybody, on him! That's what the doctor... The Shomo is... Flash him!
I'm rusty. I still need to train more. I need to do the best I can. I need to protect this city, the city of my parents. Ren doesn't sleep, they need something to fear. The city needs a symbol. I will be this symbol of justice.
Going to work, Lieutenant? You're gonna be a little late. May have to skip the whole night.
I was taught to handle worse than this, but then... It's been a while.
Consider this a warning. Be smart.
What happened to you?
A minor scuffle. Goes with the territory.
So, who was it this time? The crooks or your coworkers? Oh, right. They're one and the same.
What are you doing at the station at this time of night? Do you know what this neighborhood is like?
Dad, I'm 15.
You should be at home.
Yeah, well, there are some creepy-looking characters watching the house. I thought you should know.
Oh. Well, I'll get a police escort to take you home and check them out.
Actually, Dad, these guys are the police.
So it's come to that. Bastards.
Dad?
Here, take this. It's a police radio. And here's a list of police channels. They don't know I know about the ones in red. They'll be using those to communicate.
I can't take this. If they find out, you'll lose your job.
They're already coming for me. We may as well keep one step ahead.
Hello, Jimmy.
It's been years since I had to take out a Green Beret. Even so, he deserves a handicap. He'll never report it. Not Flass. He'll make up some story that involves at least 10 attackers. But he'll know. And he'll stay away from Barbara.
Gordon. He's so clean. I sometimes think he does it just to lord his integrity over the rest of us.
Easy, Gillian.
I'm telling you, Roman. It's time we took Gordon off the payroll. Permanently.
That's enough, Gil. A cop like Gordon is good PR for the PD. We get him under control, and he could be even more useful to us.
Control? It will be easier to send my men to beat some sense into him.
Like Detective Flass? That approach has already failed. Find a way to put a collar on the man, and it'll be that much easier to tighten the leash.
And how do I do that?
Not my problem, Gillian. That's what I pay you for. Gordon is a man of principles. Work on those.
What do you want me to do, become his confidant? Gordon trusts me about as far as he could throw me. So, not very far at all. Yeah, I get it. I'm a big guy. You're a fat slob who needs to start earning his keep. Now, men like Gordon have a weakness for a certain type of woman. They call it the Lancelot syndrome or some such crap. What are we talking about here? You want me to set up a honeypot? I'll leave the details to you. Find me some dirt, and try not to make a mess of it.
How do I do it? What do I use to make them afraid? Yes.
This suit works better than I hoped.
It's a good start. The work begins. I found a cave system beneath the mansion, full of bats.
When I was a kid, I was scared of the bats more than anything.
Now it's a symbol. I accept the fear.
I accept being the symbol of justice.
board is lit up. If you don't have an assignment, please report in.
Tim! Take him out! Holy crap, it's that damn thing! Watch him! We'll drop this! Let's take him out! Shoot on sight! Need a mask!
I've made a mess of things. Let it get out of hand.
Step it up, step it up!
Careful! These stairs are about to give way.
Hold your fire! It's a bat we're after. Whoever Batman is, he's stronger than a... Shut up, he could be anywhere. Gonna cut that bastard in half.
No more shooting. I'll take care of this my way.
It's that human bat guy! Dear God, what did I do to deserve this?
So, Red Hood, we meet again.
Stay away from me! Don't come any closer, you monster!
I build the computer. It has access to criminal database, every report and any information needed. It allows me to use analytical view from my call and helps me to scan the crime scene. The new suit is an improvement. It has everything I need for now. The suit can glide. The new cape material can make it happen. The suit is more resistant to damage and can take few bullets. It's still not perfect, but it will do for now.
Give him a taste.
Black mass drums drop off.
I'll shut you down! I'll rearrange your face!
Gotham is now a protector. Falcone, Marani, DeLuca, Black Mask, and any thug and corrupted cop that hurts anyone will have to answer to me. The cave is becoming bigger. New equipment is developed. I'm starting to use a plane to travel through Gotham. That's still needed. Lucius Fox is helping in creating the equipment. Nia doesn't know the meaning for all machinery that I want. I still need to know if I should trust him.
born with rare mutation that made his skin green and scaly and grew his body to grotesque proportions. Waylon Jones was raised by an alcoholic aunt and bullied relentlessly for his appearance. He briefly worked as a carnival freak under the name Killer Croc, but his misanthropy grew with his animal nature, pushing him to a life of crime. As his physical condition and mental state deteriorate, Killer Croc becomes a more bestial foe, increasingly detached from humanity. Linz took a generous swig from his hip flask, then pushed through the heavy oak doors into Tommaso Panis's office.
Garfield, have a seat.
His boss's plump red face and expanded waistline betrayed the fact that he was bankrupt, financially as well as morally. Linz shrunk into a chair as Panissa dispensed with small talk, then began to justify the unceremonious firing of this low-leaf artist. Despite critical acclaim, the Inferno had recovered less than a quarter of its inflated budget in the 6 months since its release. Such a high-profile failure, combined with increased attention from the Internal Revenue Service, meant that laundering millions of dollars of mob money through Panissa Studios was no longer a viable business plan.
I always liked you, Linz,
he said, like a veterinarian comforting an animal before pushing the plunger on lethal injection.
But the industry's different now. As a studio, we need to adapt or perish, and that means making some tough decisions.
Garfield declined the proffered cigar with a wave of his hand. He felt sick watching the greasy old bastard wrap his lips around a wad of dried leaves that cost 3 times his monthly salary.
I'm sure a man of your intelligence knew this day would come, Garfield. I'm sure you prepared for every eventuality.
Linz was prepared all right. He struck a match off the solid oak table and held it up to light the man's cigar. He met his boss's gaze for the last time, then expelled a mouthful of nitroglycerine through the dancing flame.
What do you want me to do? Hold your hand?
This bad guy's got some of my men really spooked. Some of them are even calling in sick.
Then fire their asses. I don't have time for fence-sitters. Soon I'll have all of City Hall in my pocket, and I'm not about to lose it over some cold feet.
So what should I do about it?
Cement shoes? You figure it out.
Commissioner Loeb.
Yes?
Warden Joseph on the line.
Roman Sinus is one of Gotham's most powerful crime lords, though thus far he has managed to avoid conviction. He maintains several legitimate businesses, though many are believed to be fronts for illegal operations. Notable businesses in his portfolio include Genis Cosmetics, the Merchants Bank, and the now-defunct Sinus Steel Works. Genis has been charged with embezzling city funds, murder, racketeering, distribution of illegal narcotics, and other offenses, but never convicted. Witnesses for the prosecution have been known to recant, die, or disappear. He owns half the police officers in Gotham, along with several judges and city councilors. Those he can't buy, he intimidates with torture or eliminates.
This is Gordon.
I know who you are.
Who is this?
I've seen your record. Impressive. In a city full of dirt, you're the only one with a clean jacket.
I need a trace started.
But despite a clean record, you're still just an instrument of oppression at the beck and call of your corporate masters.
I work for the city of Gotham, not some corporation.
Are you really so naive? The government is owned by corporate America. The city is owned by Bruce Wayne, and the mayor wouldn't wipe his ass without permission from people like Rupert Thorne. You're a cog in the machine, Gordon, and that machine is voracious. That machine must be stopped.
So you're doing me a favor of some kind?
That's right. I'm here to help the misguided. Despite your chosen profession, your record suggests you could be reformed. So a warning. Get out, Gordon. Get out while you can.
Hello? Hello? Did we get the trace? Encrypted? Son of a...
Run that past me again?
It's very simple, Brandon. Sometime in the coming days, you may receive a call from a third party requiring your services.
Like a private contractor?
Precisely.
Okay, why?
Let's call it an investment against future favors.
And how am I supposed to know the guy?
He will identify himself with the code word facade.
What is that? French?
It doesn't matter. What's important is that you remember it.
All right, facade. Got it.
So what's all this gear for, Brandon?
I mean, I should know why I'm putting my job on the line.
You sure those cameras are off?
Relax. Everything's shut down for routine maintenance. So?
All right, but keep it under your hat. Lowe's planning on setting up a special unit, with me as leader, of course.
So, why steal the gear?
We're not stealing, we're borrowing. That way we don't need to deal with a lot of red tape when we gotta mobilize.
I get it. Off the books kind of thing. Need any guns?
Nah, we got that covered. Believe me. Hey, if you want to see some action, I can put in a good word.
You kidding? I busted my ass to get this desk job. I'll leave the cowboy stuff to you. You're good at that.
Suit yourself. But remember, if you're not with us, keep your damn mouth shut.
Furniture Company, a global conglomerate of user-assembled furnishing distributors. Globalization means the people must compete for wages with all markets, including those that force children to labor. And the right-wing pundits wonder why we are not competitive. Why the middle class is evaporating. Why would a furniture company pay an home's wages to a skilled worker to make a quality product, when they can pay mere pennies to a child to make a product of less quality, but which consumers will buy because they have no choice? Yes, disposable furniture from disposable people, and you can throw them both away for a new model every few years. That's business. When was the last time any pharmaceutical company announced a cure? They don't search for cures anymore. Cures are bad for business. If you cure someone, you can only have them as a consumer once. But if you manage their condition, well, then you have a consumer for life. But profit pharmaceutical research will never cure the diseases of our time. They prey on your compassion and your guilt and use it for their own gain. Stop funding them. Stop giving them our tax dollars. Take their research and give it back to the people who will use it for the common good. Corporate interests run our government, and their enforcers live here. These men and women are workers, sworn to protect the weak, and innocent, and yet when we stand against oppression, corruption, when we peacefully speak out against corporations bulldozing our commons, illegally searching us without cause, they answer us with riot gear, with shields, batons, and tear gas. When peaceful protest is met with violence, we will match their violence tenfold, and these traitors to democracy and freedom, these tramplers of the rights our forefathers fought and died for, these automatons of the corrupt state will finally have their eyes open to the truth. We make industrial solvents and lubricants to move the machinery of our industrialized society. That's a fitting slogan for company from 50 years ago. Today, our industrial centers are collapsing, left abandoned in the wake of the mass exodus of businesses to foreign shores. Thank you, globalization, for opening up new markets, for our multinationals to sell our American-made products. Unfortunately, those products are no longer made by American workers. The American workers are laid off from their jobs, laden with debt, and then made homeless when the bankers foreclose on the homes they can no longer afford. And how are they rewarded? They are called lazy, delinquent moochers by the people who have sent their jobs overseas. When we come for them, they will run for those same shores to escape our wrath. While like the multinational corporation, the worker knows no border, for we are everywhere.
Yes?
Mr. Falcone, this is Dr. Strange's office calling.
Right, sorry. I missed my last appointment. I had to...
Actually, you missed your last 2 appointments.
Right. Look, I appreciate the doctor's concern, but I have it under control now. There's no need for any further treatment.
I'm afraid Dr. Strange doesn't feel the same way, Alberto. We would hate to take unnecessary chances when we've come so far.
Listen, I'm not one of Strange's test subjects to be poked and prodded. Have you forgotten who I am? Who my father is?
I believe your father would be most concerned that his son could be suffering from untreated psychological issues.
Is that a threat?
So, we'll expect you at the regular time next week?
Hello? Who is this?
A friend of the family.
Sionis. What do you want?
Just a social call. Reaching out to the community, you might say.
Go on.
Your father and I did not always see eye to eye, but we had much in common. Common interests, common traditions.
I can't really speak for my father or the family.
That's not how you made it sound at Cuccinota the other night.
How did you know I was...
Relax, Alberto. There's nothing like good food and wine to loosen a tongue, am I right? But next time you want to discuss your future, do it somewhere more private. And I own just the place.
Hello, Sionis.
Who the hell is this? What time is it?
Time to get your affairs in order, Roman. There is a change in the air, and the wolves
descend on Gotham. Listen, you little piece of crap. I don't know who you are or who you work for. I answer to a higher power than you. I am a higher power than you. And one day soon, you will have much to answer for.
Nobody speaks to me.
Anarky wants to purge Gotham of corruption, but his methods involve wanton destruction. His idealism is matched with a self-importance that makes reasoning with him nearly impossible. He needs to be dealt with physically and in person to keep the city safe. Should be approached with caution.
At the opening of the Cobblepot Towers, Henry Cobblepot, print magnate turned hotelier, looked at his latest hotel, determined to outclass the also newly opened Grand Wayne Plaza. Desperate to ruin his rival, Judge Solomon Wayne, Henry loved at reports that the people of Gotham preferred the restrained splendor of the Wayne Hotel to his own locations. He swore that the Cobblepot hotels would be the premier destinations of the world. He was wrong, and it cost him both his fortune and his health. On his deathbed, Henry left the remains of his fortune to his son, Theodore Cobblepot. Stanley vowed to outdo the Wayne family in their empire, now hated by John Wayne. Stanley Cobblepot instigated a very public feud with Wayne family, as the Wayne business empire extended to include hotels and other public buildings. Stanley was determined to outdo them, pouring more and more money into his fledgling hotel business, to detriment of the newspaper business and his relationship with his son, Oswald. As Stanley's businesses crumbled around him, he sent Oswald to school in England, feeling abandoned and picked on by his peers for his homely appearance. Oswald skipped class after class, preferring the company of the thieves and scoundrels he met on the streets. By the time his father's empire collapsed, Oswald had vanished. Lens has specialized knowledge of incendiary devices, yet often gets burned by the fires he's creating. What little is in his medical record suggests he does not seek treatment for the pain. It seems to invoke a pleasure response in him. This is dangerous combination. His obsession with fire is driving him to take ever larger risks, and if he is not stopped, he's going to destroy himself and potentially much of the city with him.
Is a fugitive wanted by the government of Santa Prisco following a prison break from Penaduro. While no records have been found to substantiate this, rumors allege Bane was born and raised within the prison walls, a seemingly impossible feat in the all-male penitentiary. Bane is believed to be traveling with a large group of his fellow escapees. Most notable is his chief, subordinate Bird. Bane is rumored to have superhuman size and strength. Must believe this to be a result of his abuse of performance-enhancing drugs, including the popular narcotic venom. Lined with a keen mind, this makes Bane an extreme threat.
Hiya, boss.
Candy, what a treat. Where you been, love?
Gone fishing, remember?
Ah, yes. You catch anything
Interesting.
Just a nibble. That Roman's a slippery one. But he does have a new hobby.
Oh?
Collecting masks. Ain't that a hoot?
Now, what would Roman want with that law, I wonder? I think it's time to break out some of our new hardware. We need to keep an eye on our friend Black Mask.
You wanted to see me, Warden?
Yes, I need you to reevaluate Julian Day.
Oh, didn't you see? I turned in my evaluation last week.
I saw it, and I need you to do it again.
I'm not sure that...
You have to understand, Day is a manipulator. A very experienced one, and you, well, you're still in your residency.
I don't see anyone doubting that Mr. Day is insane and should be tried as such. I'm actually considering writing a paper about him.
Miss Quinzel, I'm giving you a chance here. Do you know what happens if the prosecution can try Day as a sane man?
He'll get the death penalty.
And the city will thank you for helping to remove a cold-blooded killer from its streets.
So, we're not here to help rehabilitate the sick?
This is a prison, Miss Quinzel, not a mental health clinic. If you want to see a successful end to your residency, I suggest you keep that in mind and reevaluate Julian Day.
I see. Perhaps I was a bit hasty with my evaluation.
Excellent. I'm glad we could...
In fact, I think it would be excellent experience if I was the first to give all new inmates psychological evaluations.
You're not a doctor yet. That's not your...
Like you said, I need more experience with these manipulators. Perhaps more exposure to these types of criminals will help me learn to tell the difference between the fakers and the truly insane.
Why would you want to spend any more time with these freaks than you have to?
The criminal mind is a fascinating subject for a research paper or a book.
It's no skin off my back. Knock yourself out.
A killer is a killer is a killer. You think it matters to the victim or their families if he claims that he's insane? No. I'm not making special exceptions for all of these freaks that seem to be popping up. This one was trying to play the system, just like the rest of them. Feigned insanity is no defense in my courtroom.
You don't think it's a little blatant? I mean, with his obsession for the holidays.
In this city, they'll love it. Poetic justice, I say.
All right. Well, Christmas Eve it is then.
Excellent. I'm throwing a little Christmas party that night. We're going to watch the execution from my home. You should come by. Bring your wife. Pick up your gift.
I'll do that. And make sure you have something for my wife, too. She likes diamonds.
And they told me you were soft.
When they don't want to do their deals in the light of day, the power brokers have got them come here. When they want to perform acts, they wouldn't perform in front of their families. They visit the Carmine. The rats and roaches are witnesses to all manner of sick crimes, not to mention the backroom deals. that have parceled up this city to corrupt officials and crime lords. Now that we know where to find them, we will hide, we'll wait, and we'll listen. And then we will throw back the curtains and shine the light on their sordid business and expose them to a rage. Have there ever been a more criminal business than the casino? Burden the people with debt and make them so desperate that they'll throw away what little they have, left for the fleeting hope that all their dreams will come true. They show us pictures of the winners, massive jackpots that change lives, but they don't show us pictures of the dozens, the tens of dozens of losers. Nor do they tell us how those jackpot winners fare years after they collect. Bankrupt, destitute, even worse off than they were before. They're selling a dream and you're buying, and if that weren't enough, they go even further. They play you with alcohol. They even rig their tables to tilt the already ridiculous odds so far in their favor that there is no way the house ever loses. And if you somehow beat those odds, they accuse you of cheating and get their goons to beat their money out of you. Dock workers once belonged to one of the most powerful unions. The longshoremen of old fought their industrialist oppressors over the right to earn a living wage. These and the other unions of their day said no to capitalist exploitation of the worker and built the middle class. But those days are gone. The middle class has been obliterated by the elite. The unions of today do not work for the rights of the worker. They have been twisted and corrupted into tools of oppression by crime lords with the help of their government cronies. By allowing the perversion of this instrument of liberty, fascist governments and corporatist interests have dismantled our rights to collective bargaining all too easily. We must re-educate ourselves, remind ourselves that the worker is not a slave and deserves compensation that matches his contribution. A refreshing beverage. Oh yes, and don't forget to wash it down with obesity and diabetes. This corporation ran advertisements in the 70s that read, if sugar makes you fat, then why are so many kids thin? Believe it. They promoted the natural goodness of sugar. That gives the consumer a sense of satisfaction and well-being. They left out what it does to your teeth, your health, and its addictive effects on your brain. Big tobacco lied to us. Do you think big sugar is any different? Open your eyes to what you're really consuming. Corporate feces. They tell us that their products are safe. Who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe the poison they use to kill insects that feed on our fruits and vegetables does not affect mammalian life. But then, what about our bees? They are dying off in record numbers. There are places in the world where insect pollination no longer happens, where people have to pollinate each flower by hand. This corporation is reaping short-term profits at the expense of the people being able to eat an apple or an orange in the future. And this is not news. This is known and ignored by their well-bribed government officials and their quack scientists to slaves. If they maintain that their product is safe, then I say we feed it to them.
This city has a problem. Some freak who thinks he's a hero. Luckily, there ain't a problem in the world that can't be solved with a little bit of money. Tonight, we all win. One of you walks away with $50 million, and the rest, well, we get rid of the Batman. I don't care who does it. I don't care how they do it. I just want the Bat dead.
Boss has got the biggest assassins there is. Here, in Gotham. All on the same night, and all going after the same guy. He mad as hell. Wants the Bat deader than dead. I ain't never seen Black Mask like this.
Move it up! Drop it there, fellas. Oh, come on. Frank, check the breaker.
Looks like you got my invitation. Just you and me. Come on!
Not so fast, Deathstroke. He's my kill.
Find a body?
No. And next time, keep your other assassins out of my way.
You had your shot, Deathstroke. But you're not the only assassin in town. And the night is young.
You want to eat, don't you?
Yeah, but...
Listen, I got you on possession, B&E, trespassing. Hell, I got you on loitering. So, what's it gonna be?
All right. What do I gotta do?
Simple. You get them riled up, you know? You blend in, you make suggestions. Hey, there's a fat cat, let's roll his car. Hey, let's burn that building down. Those corporate bastards put us out in the street. And if you have to, you kick in the first window. You throw the first Molotov.
But that's what they're gonna do anyway.
Yeah, so they say. But talk is cheap. No one wants to be the first one to do it. That's where you come in.
Ain't burning down a building gonna get me in more trouble than I'm already in?
Well, yeah. But that's what you got me for. I'm on your side, friend. You get them started, and then you get the hell out of there before us boys in blue start cracking heads. I'll make sure the heat doesn't come down on you. So long as you don't get yourself caught.
I don't know about this.
Look, this prick, Anarky or whatever, he ain't got your best interests in mind, right? He's got his own agenda, and he's just using you like he's using everybody else. You bring him out in the open, we bring him down, and everybody has a Merry Christmas. So, we got a deal?
Yeah, deal.
Yeah, you made the right choice. Now, will that be light or dark meat?
Real funny lately. I'm violent. Yeah, I heard the stories. Probably just stressed.
He's king of the damn city. Ain't no one can touch him.
Except that bat thing. Boss can't be too happy about all the busts. A lot of our boys in Blackgate because of that freak.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well then, what do you think it is?
Running a criminal empire ain't easy. Maybe he's starting to crack.
And maybe we should change the subject. Wrong person hears us, we'll both be in the river.
Leonis is acting real strange tonight. Yeah? I ain't noticed a difference. But it's not like he and I get lots of face-to-face time together. He's real chatty, keeps cracking jokes, too. Some of the guys think he's been sampling the product, you know?
No way. Boss is all about production and distribution. He's too smart to get hooked.
Who knows? Maybe it's Tiffany that got him into this stuff.
Could be. That girl's bad news. Don't know what he sees in her.
Man, where is she? It's been almost an hour and nothing.
Let me guess, this is your first time on girlfriend duty.
Yeah, so?
She's always late. When she shows up, you just smile and ask her where she wants to go. You act up, and she'll tell Cyanus. And then you'll really be in it.
Man, I should never have agreed to this.
Like you tell the big guy no.
I could have called in sick or something.
Would have been the last call you ever made.
This job. I hope she shows up soon.
Think the boss is gonna make a play for Gobblebot's turf? No idea. Black Mask has been acting real strange lately. No way to know what he's up to. Maybe he's gonna bring in some of the assassins, huh? Make them lieutenants or something. I don't think they're looking to settle down. They came to Gotham to make a quick buck, bring down the bat, and then get back to whatever the hell it is they do. Pretty nice life if you ask me. They get to travel all over the world, kicking ass and making money. Yeah, except they've always got somebody at their back. In and out of prison all the time. Fighting with each other, dealing with guys like Batman. I don't know. I kinda like keeping it low-key. Hey, you seen any of those Anarky posters?
No? Who's that?
Some new guy. Says he wants to help us.
Help us how? I mean, this ain't the first time some guys come around promising help. And then we wind up in some mad scientist lab or turned into monsters, or worse.
That's happened to you?
Well, no, not me personally. But some guys I used to know.
Really?
Yes, really. They come around talking about how they found a job or someone's gonna help them get on their feet and then poof, never seen again.
Well, maybe that just means it worked. You ever considered that?
Sure, I considered it. But Gotham ain't the kind of place where good things happen to people.
Come on, I'm all to pay homage to our plastic pendant of demigods. You may not touch, only watch. No! Their glorious image will be projected on a big screen while they spot Tripe and Drek. They are presented to you larger than life, ensure that you realize that you are just a small, insignificant, and powerless mortal in the shadow of their greatness. Tremble in their presence and despair at your inadequacy. And don't forget to stop at the concession to fill your face with sugar treats and salty swill where all proceeds go to the Falcony crime family. The Waynes, Gotham royalty and their sole surviving prince, Bruce Wayne, were an advantage for generations. His family has tried to blind us with generosity, but their generosity does not mask their extreme guilt from pillaging the city in years past. How does one family get so rich? On the back of the worker. Perhaps there wouldn't be so many orphans if the Waynes paid their workers fair for their labor, and they could save on all their donations to orphanages. Did Bruce Wayne invent these products? Did he sweat on the assembly line to create them? No. He just paid himself tens, hundreds, and thousands of times what he pays his workers, and then pats himself on the back for his ingenuity. Charity simply allows him to feel good about himself, makes him feel like he's helping those poor souls who can't fend for themselves while he sips his champagne and eats his foie gras. If only he'd pay them fairly, they wouldn't need his charity. Perhaps Mr. Wayne should read a little of Abraham Lincoln. Labor is prior to and independent of capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor and can never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital and deserves much the higher consideration. Voltaire says that the comfort of the rich depends on an abundance of the poor. If that's true, then the residents of Lacey Towers are very, very comfortable. It's the home of Fasco capitalists and criminals. Most of these suites are empty. Do you know why? Because their owners live in mansions all over this country. They keep these condos for friends, for entertainment, for a place to stay on the odd time they visit our fair city. There are people in the alleys around this building that sleep in paper box, and these barges bastards can afford to spend millions on luxury condos that they don't even need. What have they done that is deserving of this affluence, that they may live in such sick opulence, while those of us who slave under them must beg for their charity to feed ourselves? We will tear them down while they scream of their superiority. They don't show films here anymore. The theater was once a family-run operation, but their doors are closed, unable to compete against the nationwide franchises that now dominate our landscape. Theaters that all show the same Hollywood dreck that keeps us entertained but blissfully ignorant. There's no room for the art of film in a nation full of programmed, sugar-fed consumers. And so we'll target the industry of franchising, a business model that sucks money out of communities and kills independent business. If there were ever a more ludicrous business, I've never seen it. You think they make steel here? Roman Sinus is the most illegitimate businessman in Gotham, and only thing coming out of this mill is fine white powder sold to wealthy elite. Even the rich have their masters in a city run by criminals, and Roman Sinus is both. But at least Sinus is a honest crook. He does not pretend to be what he is not. He takes what he can and does what he wants. They call that freedom, but he will trot over the freedom of anyone who stands against him and his empire. He is a king and so must also fall.
I need to always be at the top of the game, especially after this mercenary called Deathstroke attacked me. The augmented reality training with mechanical dummies will keep me exercised. The AI-based program will load behavioral design on the dummies, and they will behave just like regular thugs on the street. I don't have enough data on an opponent like Deathstroke to assimilate his behavior onto the robots. This needs to do for now. I will keep monitoring my exercise by score, by performing moves and tactics I made for myself. The mechanical AI dummies are programmed and improved from Lucius' schematics and assembled with Alfred's help. I can't trust Lucius yet or maybe ever. I don't really need more people knowing what I do. It's better this way.
Guns and ammunition. Weapons of war are the ultimate luxury good. When you fire a gun, you literally burn your money in a small explosion that sends a metal projectile down the gun barrel at high velocity. Is there anything more frivolous? There is no more heavily subsidized industry in the world. But they don't just use our money to make weapons. No, they use our tax money to lobby and bribe politicians. The very politicians who gave it to them so they can get even more. We don't require the right to bear arms. We only require the will to use them. In the past, if you had no talent, no ambition, and no skills, there was only one job you could do. You could become a banker. But then our banks were deregulated. Lessons learned from the Great Depression were forgotten. And the banks were allowed to gamble with the money of pensioners. And the banks lost. They lost it all. But were the bankers punished? Sent to prison? No. Not one. Were they fired? No. They are so blinded by the broken and corrupt system that they don't even think they've done anything wrong. We must pry their eyes open and make them face the fire of our fury. Mendo soap. Sounds innocent, doesn't it? But who is making the soap? Mendo imports illegal immigrant laborers, luring them to the city with the promise of a new life, and then forces them to work under threat of deportation. We should not begrudge these innocents of making a living. What we should rail against is the globalization that forces our workers to compete with them The superpower corporations have seen all of our cross-border trade protections removed so that they might pillage foreign countries. And the result, the lives of workers all over the world destroyed. We welcome these brother workers, for they shall swell our ranks. Our politicians continue to privatize what should be public goods owned by the people. Monopoly on electricity gives inordinate power over the entire population to a few. Corporate executives who think that they're genius businessmen because they make money through their control of a product that everyone needs. We the people pay for the roads, for bridges, for dams, for power plants, and then sell them off to these for-profit corporations. Oh, they say these utilities will be run more efficiently by private business, yet their executive salaries increase. They lay off full-time workers and use contractors they don't need to pay benefits to, and then begin price-gouging the people. Electricity is a necessity like air, water, food, and yet we allow these corporate profiteers to gain from it. I mean, if a public utility is losing money, who is it losing money to? The people. Where's profits from privatized utilities go directly into the pockets of the wealthy few, and our costs go always up. No more. We will take back what is ours, give power free to the people, and see our lives prosper as a result. Does anyone still believe there is justice in Gotham? If the common man robs a banker, that man is sentenced with the full force of the law. But if the banker robs the world, he is given a bonus by bosses, corporate robber barons. No banker sees the inside of a courtroom. No financier is charged with theft, with fraud, with racketeering. The law does not apply to the elite. Even murderers and rapists who were somehow brought before the court are only put away if their criminal overlords want it to happen. Judges are bought, juries are bribed and intimidated. This system needs a purge. Balanced and fair, they say, resenting what Jack Ryder calls both sides of every argument. Sure, when his side comes from made-up corporate messaging mean to convince us that words like liberty, justice, and truth still have meaning, and other side is some barely intelligent shill. It's an insulting joke. They frame their stories in a way to mask their fascist agenda, and use intimidation, intellectual dishonesty, and loudmouthiness questioning who try to point out the fallacy of their arguments. They blame immigrants. They blame criminals. They blame everyone but the corporations who pay their salaries. The Fourth Estate has been replaced by the machinery of propaganda, and now exists only as a tool to keep the people ignorant. The Daily was once a voice for truth in reporting. Now it's a corporatist fascist rag filled with lies about our city. The irony of a newspaper attacking the free press is almost too much to swallow. Yet, when one knew that in Milton Hill's mayoral election was rigged, the Daily defended him. When a pacifist group exposed police infiltration into their ranks, the Daily labeled them a group of terrorists. When Fred and Lubs dumped enough pesticides into the Gotham River to turn the bay pink, the Daily blamed algae blooms. As the assault on our civil liberties continues, the Daily doesn't remain silent. They voice their support, but our voices will drown theirs out. Print is dead. This HUD serves as playground for our corporate masters, where a one-night stay costs more than the average worker brings home in a month. They must feel like if they raise themselves up high enough, they will escape our anger. Or perhaps they think that the stench of the street will not reach them in their lofty rooms. They look down on us, but we will rise up and tear them down. In this den of iniquity, the elite have been caught in sex, drug, and racketeering scandals. Over the HUD's history, no fewer than 17 city councilors, 3 mayors, and senators. Governor have been caught in some kind of criminal activity. But you won't hear about this in the Daily because the elite have servants, bribed to cover up scandals and dump bodies. And you wonder why the royal tolerates all that mob activity. The man on the street caught with illicit narcotics gets away for 5, 10, 20 years. But the city council caught with 2 dead strippers gets a rigged election. Well, that makes him mayor. And the 2 girls, they get a burial at sea and their names wiped from history. We can't bring those girls back, but we can send them some company. Our dutiful Mayor Hamilton Hill made his money in insurance. That is by making promises to pay people when they were in need, and then making excuses not to pay them at all. And yet he is not branded a thief, a fraudster. No, he's elected mayor. Now, he's free to raid our city coffers to pay for whatever projects his masters deem worth. Masters like Rupert Thorne, and he thinks the people are not watching. We know what he did with those 2 girls at the Gotham Roll, and we will bring it into the light for all to see. Our corporate overlords build temples to their gods. The gods of greed, oppression, and opulence. Wonder Tower is the ultimate representation of capitalist arrogance. A monument to the disparity between the bargees and the proletariat. Wonder City is a fiction meant to give false hope to the masses, that their lives in the future will be prosperous. But history shows the opposite, that we continue to fall behind while the power elite grows stronger. We will wipe this fantasy from the face of Gotham.
I did a scan of my moves in the field and while training. This projection will be analyzed, and I will improve on them. This is what I observed and learned to this day. I have enough strength to lift a grown man with one arm. The suit also stabilized the arm for better grip on the neck. With swift movement, I can knock my opponent with other arm. I can knock one target with a moment of my build, and move on to the next one very fast, destroying his weapon. I will be using takedown maneuvers that will eliminate the opponent in seconds. Perfect counters are necessary to avoid getting hit. A failed evading may be the only option left. Fast punches to the face, chest and abdominal ring will make up and enable the counter. With enough force, I will break the bonds and kill the assailant. I could call it a beatdown. My movement is fast enough to dodge a sharp weapon. If I want, then the suit plates can take the slices and stabs attacks, and make them not go deep enough to my body area. It can be followed by a move I call blade counter. After third attack, I can use a window to disarm and eliminate target from fight. The kick can stun an enemy for a short moment, which allows me to follow with an attack. I can also do a follow-up of 3 moves with cape. That will stun the enemy and also make him fall to the ground, making it a perfect moment for a ground takedown or multi-takedown. I'm working on a device to stun an enemy from far away. It also will last longer than cape stun. Octographic sequencer will allow me to hack control panels and other electronic devices. It also has built-in ready channels to keep up with the events while patrolling the streets. The suit can better analyze surroundings and scan the crime scenes with the detective vision. Cape material can help me glide with an amazing speed, better than the last version. With a grappling outpost, I can achieve a big speeds, then can be used to glide kick or glide attack the enemy. The grappling hook can also be used to achieve a takedown, either by grapple boost or by the ledge takedown. Sonic Veteran can detonate electromagnetic charge that will knock an opponent immediately. Smoke pellet readies and time is increased.
Andrei Abramovich was a respected man in the small Siberian village where he lived with his pregnant wife. When word reached Andrei that his wife was in labor, he rushed home, excited to be at her side, but was met only by the midwife. His wife had not survived the birth. Complications due to the special nature of his newborn sons were to blame. Pushing into the room, he found his twin sons, joined at the shoulder, screaming for their mother. He took the twins and left town, crying. He stood on a bridge over the freezing cold river and contemplated throwing them to their deaths, but he could not do it. Leaving his sons outside the tent of a traveling freak show, Andrei returned home to his village a broken man. They were raised with their new surrogate family at a traveling freak show, and they eventually found their place in the world. They were given the names of Hammer and Sickle soon after. Over a century ago, the mysterious Ra's al Ghul arrived in Gotham City and met with the Gotham Elders. Even then, Gotham was a crime-ridden, lawless place. Ra's promised a brighter future for all in exchange for a deed to the north end of the city. The Gothamites laughed at this strange man until he produced more gold than they had ever seen. The deed in hand, Ra's began construction of a new city, utopian vision powered by clean, free energy, with no crime. The future would be bright, and as the last brick was laid by the slaves he had shipped in from his homeland, Ra's presented the future of Gotham, Wonder City. On a dark and stormy night in the late 19th century, a merchant named Cyrus Gold was murdered and dumped in the swamps near the emerging Gotham City. As the body sunk into the pit, it was exposed to an unusual chemical in the swamp, which miraculously reanimated the merchant. He set out wandering the streets of old Gotham, unable to remember his name and only able to recite the nursery rhyme. Solomon Grundy, seemingly able to cheat death, the undead man, now called Solomon Grundy, was captured and ruthlessly experimented on. Determined to discover what had brought Grundy back to life, it became apparent that the creature was now immortal due to a combination of the swamp chemicals and the storm that raged on the night of his death. Mechanical guardians watched over the population of Wonder City while behind the scenes, lawbreakers were removed and executed. Wonder Tower stood above it all, a monument to prosperity. But for Ra's, the real reason for choosing this location was simple. Beneath the streets, he had located a chemical source that he called Lazarus. In small doses it would rejuvenate a person. But Ra's believed that with enough power, the Lazarus could be supercharged to defeat any ailment, even death itself. Unknown to all but Ra's and his engineers, Wonder Tower was actually a giant lightning rod. When the time was right, he would test his theory.
This world is doomed. Cities like Gotham will grow to resemble hell breaking through the sidewalk, continuing up into the sky. Structures will grow to blot out the sun, and the people who live in them will be choked by the pollution they create. Eventually, when no space remains, this world will die, struggling for breath as man's mistakes nail the coffin shut. But this doesn't have to be your future, Gotham. There is a better way. Behind this wall is mankind's chance for survival. A glimpse at a future based on an amazing discovery. A discovery that will allow Gotham to rise like Lazarus, becoming a beacon of hope for this world. Are you intrigued? Then step closer. Witness the future of Gotham City. The heart of Gotham's future beats with Lazarus technology. The power of Lazarus is pumped into every street, every home, providing clean, safe energy. Mechanical guardians will serve you, watch over you, and, where necessary, protect you from the worst of mankind's sins. But most importantly, our beautiful world will survive. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us to present to you the future Wonder City.
Wonder City continued to operate for months before the effect of prolonged exposure to the Lazarus chemical became clear. It was driving the city's inhabitants insane. When Racial Gull failed to act, the newly formed Gotham City Hall did. Wonder City was declared a public health hazard and quarantined. Troops dragged the screaming citizens out of their homes, straight to Arkham Asylum. Racial Gull disappeared. As the army moved through the condemned Wonder City searching for stragglers, no one expected what lay in Racial Gull's private medical laboratory. For months, Solomon Grundy had been exposed to the Lazarus chemical and then repeatedly electrocuted. He had died dozens of times, but each time he was brought back for more. While the soldiers debated what he even was, Grundy revived again and killed everyone nearby. Mentally broken by his ordeal, he waited at the lab for the doctors to return and murder him again. As Gotham reached into the sky, new neighborhoods were built over Wonder City until the site was all but forgotten. Some years later, Ra's returned in need of his old Lazarus pit. As his forces began the mining process, the streets above collapsed, but Ra's forced them to keep digging.